The village of Medjugorje in Bosnia and Herzegovina has become a renowned spiritual destination, drawing millions of pilgrims since the Marian apparitions were first reported in 1981. The Virgin Mary is said to have appeared to 6 young visionaries, delivering messages of peace, prayer, conversion, fasting, and faith. For believers, living the messages of Medjugorje means not just visiting the site, but integrating these profound spiritual teachings into their daily lives. The core messages that Our Lady has shared are a pathway to holiness and deepening your relationship with God. To live the messages of Medjugorje in everyday life is to embark on a journey of inner transformation, aligning your heart, mind, and actions with God's will. One of the foundational aspects of Medjugorje URTM's messages is the importance of daily prayer. Mary, who is often referred to as the Queen of Peace in these apparitions, has repeatedly emphasized the power of prayer, especially the Rosary, as a spiritual weapon against evil and a way to grow in holiness. Incorporating prayer into your daily routine is essential. Start by setting aside dedicated time each morning to offer the day to God and pray the Rosary. The Rosary is a deeply meditative prayer that allows you to reflect on the mysteries of Christoret URTM's life, death, and resurrection. Additionally, Mary has called for evening prayer, which could be a perfect time to gather with your family, recite the Rosary together, and end the day in communion with God. Medjugorje reminds us that prayer is not limited to a specific time or place, but should become an ongoing conversation with God throughout the day, whether you're at work, home, or even commuting. Another significant part of living the messages of Medjugorje is regularly receiving the sacrament of confession. Mary URTM's messages encourage believers to purify their hearts through confession, ideally at least once a month. This sacrament is not just about seeking forgiveness for sins, but also a powerful means of spiritual healing and renewal. It helps you stay connected to God's grace, allows for deeper self-awareness, and fosters a sense of humility. By regularly reflecting on your actions, thoughts, and intentions, confession becomes a tool for continual spiritual growth and conversion. It is a way to let go of pride and selfishness and to open yourself more fully to God's mercy. Fasting, especially on Wednesdays and Fridays, is another vital part of the Medjugorje messages. Fasting is traditionally done on bread and water, and this act of physical sacrifice aligns with spiritual discipline. Fasting helps to remind you of the need for self-control, detachment from materialism, and solidarity with the poor and suffering. In addition to traditional fasting from food, you can also fast from other things that may distract you from your spiritual life. For example, consider fasting from excessive use of technology or social media, gossip, or any unhealthy habits that take your focus away from God. By practicing fasting, you can foster an interior conversion that makes you more open to God's will and more attuned to the needs of others. The messages of Medjugorje also stress the importance of fostering peace in your life. Mary calls for peace not only in the world, but within your own heart and in your relationships. Living this message means being a peacemaker in your family, workplace, and community. It calls for practicing forgiveness, both in forgiving others and seeking forgiveness for your own wrongs. When tensions arise, whether it's a misunderstanding with a family member or a conflict at work, take a step back and respond with patience and understanding. By promoting peace in your everyday encounters, you reflect the peace of Christ that Mary desires for the world. Another key aspect of the Medjugorje messages is conversion, which is understood as an ongoing process of turning away from sin and growing closer to God. Conversion is not a one-time event, but a daily commitment to live according to the gospel. In everyday life, conversion can manifest in small acts of kindness, generosity, and love. It might mean going out of your way to help a neighbor, being patient with a difficult colleague, or offering support to someone in need. Through these actions, you reflect God's love and draw others towards Him. Medjugorje encourages you to live with humility, recognizing that every day presents an opportunity to grow in holiness and to align your heart more fully with Christo URTM's teachings. The Eucharist is at the heart of living the messages of Medjugorje. Mary calls for frequent participation in the Mass and receiving the Eucharist with reverence. The Eucharist is the source and summit of the Christian life, and through it, you are united with Christ in a profound way. Attending daily or weekly Mass helps to deepen your relationship with Jesus and reinforces the message of love, sacrifice, and communion. In addition to Mass, spending time in Eucharistic adoration allows for quiet reflection and contemplation of God Aurtm's presence. This time spent in front of the Blessed Sacrament can be transformative, as it deepens your faith and brings you into a closer relationship with Jesus. Living the messages of Medjugorje also means dedicating yourself to the call for peace and reconciliation, not only globally but in your personal life. Our Lady's messages emphasize that peace begins in the heart, and from there it extends outward. Start by nurturing peace in your own life through inner prayer and reflection. When you're faced with challenging situations, instead of reacting with anger or frustration, take a moment to pray and invite God's peace into the situation. Forgiveness is a key part of this process. Whether it's letting go of past hurts or making amends with someone you've wronged, forgiveness brings healing and reconciliation, which are vital to living the messages of peace. Another way to live the messages is by fostering a spirit of joy and gratitude in your daily life. Mary often calls for the faithful to live joyfully, even in the face of trials and suffering. Joy is a fruit of the Holy Spirit and a sign of your trust in God Aurtm's providence. Take time each day to thank God for His blessings, both big and small. Whether Eucharist is the gift of family, friends, or simply the beauty of creation, gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, allowing you to live more joyfully. This joy becomes a witness to others of the transformative power of faith and the presence of God in your life. The messages of Medjugorje also call for a deep trust in God Aurtm's plan, even when life seems uncertain or difficult. Living this message means surrendering your fears, anxieties, and concerns to God and trusting that He will guide you through every situation. When you face challenges, instead of being overwhelmed by worry, turn to prayer and ask for God Aurtm's guidance. Trust in His timing and His wisdom, knowing that He is always working for your good, even when you cannot see the full picture. Finally, living the messages of Medjugorje means committing to the ongoing work of personal and communal conversion. Conversion is a lifelong journey that requires humility, perseverance, and trust in God's mercy. Every day is an opportunity to renew your commitment to God and to live according to His will. By following the messages of Medjugorje, you allow God's grace to transform your heart, your relationships, and the world around you. These messages are a call to live a life of holiness, peace, and love, rooted in prayer, faith, and a deep trust in God's plan for you. Through small daily acts of devotion and service, you can become a living witness to the messages of Medjugorje and help to bring about the peace that Our Lady desires for the world.